श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार्विक गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यल्प विश्व शुद्ध सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यल्प विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गोपाल शारद वृंद की जाय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। जय श्री today's नित्य प्रविष्ट श्री नरहरि सेवा विग्रह प्रभु की जाय। द्वितीय शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जाय। नित्य विश्व शिल भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जाय। द्वितीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जाय। जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जाय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जाय। द गौड़ीय भाष्य शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। धन्यवाद प्रणाम everybody. Hari Bol, say Shri Mataji. Alright, so starting the Mangala Charan. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai 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 Vishwambhara Dvijaraj Jaya Vishwambhara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaura Chandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundara Sharir Jai Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadadhar Advaiter Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishoy Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hridoy Jai Jai Shivasari Priya Varganath Jiva Prati Koro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Jeno Amriter Khanda Je Katha Shunile Ghuche Antar Pashanda Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Bhai Shuno Ekachitte Sankirtana Aramba Hoilo Jeno Mate Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya vihina paradalakshay क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ore murda loko shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal. Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas Chaitanya Lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal Jahara Shravane Nashi Sarvaya Mangal Chaitanya Nitar Jate Jani Mahima Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar Likhiya Chin Iha Jani Koriya Uddhar Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakhon Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar Aiche Granta Kori Teho Tarila Sansar Narayani Chaitanyer Uchishta Bhajan Tar Garbe Janmila Shidasa Vrindavan Tar ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shavane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amriter Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Jai the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat Pranams, Nuri Hari Prabhu and Pavatarani Mataji. And let's see who else is there. Hari Priya Didi, Sudevi Didi, Ganga Mataji, and of course Seshwari Mataji, and I see there are a few other people there. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Okay, so we are continuing on from Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 18. So I'm going to read this summary written by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and then we'll begin reading. This chapter describes how Mahaprabhu expressed a desire to enact the pastimes of Raj. The Lord's order to Sadashiv and Buddhimantakan to arrange the necessary costumes. The Lord's assigning who will dress as whom. The Lord's declaration regarding who is qualified to see the dance. Advaita Prabhu and Srivasa's pundit expression of their disqualification for seeing the dance. The Lord's awarding everyone the qualification to see the dance. And the Lord and the devotees' arrival at the house of Chandraśekhara for enacting the dance of some Vaishnavas. Sorry. Something was blocking my screen and I missed it. The Lord and the devotees' arrival at the house of Chandraśekhara for enacting the dance. Some Vaishnavas dressing in costumes. The Lord's dancing in the dress of the Supreme Goddess, Adya Shakti. the purpose behind his dressing as a supreme goddess, Gadadhar's dancing in the dress of Rama, the devotees' offering of prayers, everyone's crying in separation at the end of the night, the Lord's breastfeeding all of the devotees in the mood of a mother, and the effulgence pervading the house of Chandrasekhara for 7 days. Those are all the topics in this chapter. Now we'll read the more in-depth summary by Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami. Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu. One day, Mahaprabhu expressed to the devotees a desire to enact the pastimes of Vraj, and he ordered Sadashiv and Buddhimanta Khan to arrange various items such as conch shells, bodices, silk saris, and ornaments. He also designated which associate would wear which dress. When, on the Lord's order, Buddhimanta Khan arranged the required costumes, the Lord became extremely pleased. In the course of expressing to the devotees his desire to dance as Lakshmi, the Lord said, "No one other than self-controlled persons are qualified to see this dance." Upon hearing these words from the Lord, all the devotees became distressed. When Advaita Prabhu and Srivas Pandit expressed their inability to see the dance because they were not in control of their senses, Mahaprabhu smiled and said that on that particular day, they would all be self-controlled yogis qualified to see the Lord's dancing. By the Lord's mercy, they would not be bewildered. To enact this pastime, Mahaprabhu and his associates assembled at the house of Chandrasekhara. Mother Shachi, Vishnupriya, and the family members of the assembled Vaishnavas were all brought there to see the Lord dance as Lakshmi. When the devotees heard the Lord's instructions on how to dress, they became overwhelmed with ecstasy. Śrī Advaita Acharya, as an expert jester, began dancing in various ways. Mukunda, as an expert singer, began to sing the glories of Krishna. And Haridas, as a constable with a stick in his hands, began to caution everyone to be prepared to see the Lord dance in the dress of Lakshmi. Srivas came on stage dressed as Narad and indicated his actual identity by introducing himself as Narad, who travels throughout innumerable universes. He explained that he had just gone to Vaikuntha to see Krishna, but he found that everything there was vacant. When he then heard about Krishna's advent in Nadia, he left Vaikuntha and came to Navadvip, where he entered the pastime of the Lord's dancing in the dress of Lakshmi. Mother Shachi and the wives of the Vaishnavas became absorbed in ecstatic love for Krishna as they watched Srivas's wonderful dramatic enactment of pastimes. When Mother Shachi fell unconscious in ecstasy on seeing the attractive form of Srivas, all the assembled chaste ladies revived her by chanting Krishna's names in her ear. In this way, everyone inside and outside the house became overwhelmed with ecstatic love and forgot themselves. Meanwhile, inside the house, Vishvambar dressed himself as Rukmini. Absorbed in her mood and considering himself the daughter of the king of Vidarbha, he recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam describing the contents of the letter Rukmini sent to Krishna. With tears in his eyes, he pretended to write a letter on the ground with his finger. Upon hearing this verse, the Vaishnavas began to cry and chant the name of Hari in ecstasy. After passing about 3 hours of drama in this way, Gadadhar and Brahmananda came on stage in the mood and dress of Vraj damsels. Gadadhar then began to dance in ecstatic love as Rama, the goddess of fortune. Meanwhile, Mahaprabhu, as a supreme goddess, and Nityananda, as an elderly grandmother, came on stage. According to their respective sentiments, some saw the Lord as Kamala, some saw him as Lakshmi. What's the difference between Kamala and Lakshmi? I thought Kamala and Lakshmi is exactly the same person. Anyways, I'm like the same form, but maybe not. Then some saw him as Sita, and some saw him as Mahamaya. Even those who saw the Lord throughout their life were unable to recognize him. What to speak of others? Even Mother Shachi was unable to recognize the Lord. At that time, by the Lord's mercy, everyone felt as if he was their mother, so they became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. We read up to this point, I think, right? Up to Anyways. No one could understand what mood the Lord was dancing in, but after hearing his various statements, various people felt he was dancing in the mood of Rukmini, Mahachandi, or Sri Radha. Oh no, we read this also. In this way, he taught everyone about the characteristics and glories of his various energies. When the Lord was dancing as a supreme goddess, Nityananda fell unconscious to the ground, and all the devotees began to cry loudly in ecstatic love. After a while, Vishvambar took the deity of Gopinath on his lap, and in the mood of Mahalakshmi, sat down on the throne. By the order of the Lord, the devotees offered him various prayers and begged for his merciful glance. When the Vaishnavas and their chaste wives noticed that dawn had broke, they could not maintain their composure out of lamentation. On seeing the Vaishnavas cry, the Lord, as the mother of the universe, began to breastfeed them. As a result, all their miseries were vanquished, and they became intoxicated with the mellows of ecstatic love. By the Lord's inconceivable potency, the house of Chandrasekhara Acharya was brightly illuminated for 7 days. As a result of that, people were unable to look at it. When people inquired about the cause of this, the Vaishnavas simply smiled and did not reveal anything. All right, so we read up to verse 149 yesterday. Let me just opening that up. 149. And I'll go not too many verses. I'll just go a few verses back to get the flow. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start from here. One second. Gadadhar appeared like the personification of the Ganga. In fact, he is the potency of Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya has repeatedly declared, Gadadhar is my consort in Vaikuntha. Those who sang and those who watched all floated in waves of ecstatic love. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, they lost all external consciousness. All the Vaishnavas cried as they chanted, Hari Hari. A commotion of ecstasy arose among them. The sound of crying in ecstatic love for Krishna was heard everywhere, as the son of Madhav, Gadadhar Pandit, danced in the dress of a Gopī. At that time, Vishvambar, the Lord of Lords, came on stage dressed as a supreme goddess. Nityananda, in the dress of an elderly lady, floated in waves of ecstasy as he hobbled in a bent position on the stage in front of the Lord. All the Vaishnavas loudly chanted together, Jai, Jai. Lord Vishvambar was disguised in such an enchanting dress that no one could recognize him. Since the Lord walked behind Nityananda Prabhu, who was the Lord's elderly lady companion, everyone could understand, this is the Lord. Otherwise, no one could recognize him by his dress. Has Kamala directly appeared from the ocean? Has Janaki, the wife of the line of the Raghu dynasty, come? Has Mahalakshmi or Parvati appeared? Has the treasure of Vrindavan personally come? Is she Ganga? Is she compassion personified? Or is she Mahamaya, the enchanter of Lord Shiva? In this way, everyone was bewildered and unable to recognize the Lord. Even those who saw the Lord since his birth could not recognize him at all. What to speak of others, even Mother Shachi could not recognize him. She said, has Lakshmi come to dance? Has Lord Hari personally become the inconceivable transcendental goddess of all mystic perfections and the personification of devotional service? On seeing this form, even Lord Shiva, the best of all demigods, and Parvati became illusioned. But the assembled Vaishnavas were not bewildered because of the benediction they had previously received. The Lord became like an ocean of mercy to everyone. In their hearts, they all accepted him as their mother. Feeling as if their mother had come from the spiritual world, they cried in ecstasy and forgot themselves. As Advaita and the other devotees saw the Lord in this way, they floated in an ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna. As Vishwambar danced in the mood of the Mother of the Universe, his followers sang appropriate songs. No one was certain in which consort's mood Lord Narayan was dancing. When he inquired, "Oh Brahman, has Krishna come?" This is continuing on because, and Haripriya is asking, I wonder why emphasis is given to Rukmini in that pastime rather than Satyabhama. I mean, Rukmini is Krishna's principal queen in Dwarka. And yeah, he's enacting. Remember, we read that whole part where he was the whole pastime of writing in like Rukmini's letter to Krishna and all that. So he just, so why did he enact that pastime? He was going through all different pastimes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any like perfect answer, but yeah. So when he inquired, after Rukmini wrote those letters to Krishna, Mahaprabhu just enacted that. So then when he inquired, "Oh Brahman, has Krishna come?" in the mood of Rukmini, then it was understood that he was in the mood of the young lady of Vidarbha, Rukmini. When the devotees saw tears of ecstasy flow from his eyes, they considered him to be the Ganga personified. When he laughed loudly in ecstatic love, he appeared to everyone just like Mahachandi. When the Lord staggered about while dancing, he appeared just like Revati after she had drunk some intoxicating beverage. Another time when he said, "Come, dear old lady, let us go to Vrindavan," they understood that he was in the mood of a beautiful girl from Gokul. I wonder who that beautiful girl was. We read in the summary just about that. That was referring to Śrī Radha. When he sat for meditation in the Virasana posture, everyone saw him as the goddess of millions of mystic perfections. As the Lord danced in the dress of Rukmini, he manifested the role of all his various consorts from innumerable universes. The Lord manifested this pastime to check everyone from criticizing his energies or consorts. By respecting the universal and transcendental energies of Krishna, one's devotion to Krishna becomes fixed. By respecting the universal and transcendental energies of Krishna, one's devotion to Krishna becomes fixed. Krishna is unhappy when the demigods are offended. If one worships Krishna along with his associates, then he is pleased. Yes. All right. Haribo, Kishore Prabhu, and Vidya Lalasa Didi. Okay, Kishore. No worries. That's fine. All right. So that's where we read up to yesterday, and now we're continuing on. And today is the disappearance day of Sri Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu and the appearance day of Bhakti Vaiva Puri Gosai Maharaj. But today we have a lot to get through, like yesterday. And so maybe I don't think we'll have time to read about Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu. Maybe I can do another reading a bit later on, just a short reading. I would like to finish this chapter today though. So, or if there's like a few minutes. Yes, Haribo Shubhanand Prabhu. Yes.
Your voice is quite low.
Oh, maybe. Let's see. Is it better? Like maybe I need to talk more directly into the mic. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just need to put my mouth right next to it. Okay. Jai Śrī Krishna Chandra Shri Satya Hoy Abhagya Papishta Mati Taha Nahi Loy. Whatever Lord Krishna Chandra teaches is the truth. Only unfortunate sinful persons do not accept it. Sarva Shakti Sarupe Nachai Vishwambar Keho Nahi Deke Heno Nritya Manohar Vishwambar thus danced in the form of his various consorts. No one had ever seen such an enchanting dance. Jai deke jai shune jai ba gai prabhu shange shabe bhasin prema sagar tarange. Those who saw, those who heard, and those who sang with the Lord all floated in the waves of the ocean of ecstatic love, in the prema sagar tarange. Sabe bhasin prem sagar tarange. Eko Vaishnaver jata nayaner jal, she jeno mahabanya vyapilo shakal. The tears of even one of those Vaishnavas were sufficient to create a flood, a great flood, a mahabanya. Adya Shakti Veshe Nache Prabhu Gaura Singha, Shukhe Deke Tar Jata Charaner Bringa. The lion-like Gaur danced in the dress of the supreme goddess, as his servants, who were like bees at his lotus feet, joyfully watched. Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. The phrase Adya Shakti, the supreme goddess, is explained as follows. From the material point of view, the Lord's original energy in the material world, which is born from his external energy, is called Adya Shakti. I was wondering what Adya Shakti, remember we looked it up yesterday? So now he's explaining it. Okay, so the Lord's, hey, I was right. I said original energy. But he said original energy in the material world, which is born from his external energy. Okay, I didn't get that. The mother of the universe within the limited time factor is called Adya Shakti. The eternal energetic Lord has three types of energies. The energy that produces, maintains, and destroys the perishable universe is the Lord's Bahiranga Shakti, or external energy. This energy has two propensities, covering and throwing. Apart from this, the Supreme Lord's Antaranga Shakti, or internal energy, manifests the eternal Vaikuntha planets. In this material world, which is a product of the external energy, 5 types of miseries and 3 modes of nature are present in mutual contention. But in the eternal self-manifested spiritual world, which is a product of the internal energy, there is no interruption of its blissful state. Okay, so those were two energies, right? The antaranga, the bahiranga, and antaranga. Between the internal and external energies, there is one other energy that sometimes comes under the control of the internal energy and sometimes eagerly pursues the external energy. That's the Tatastha Shakti, right? Accepting the activities of his Adya Shakti, Lord Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of dancing as a female. By accepting the dress of Rukmini, who is a manifestation of the internal energy, and by manifesting her worship of the Lord, Gaurasundar displayed her worldly connection through the material point of view. Kampasvera pulaka ashur antanai, murtamati bhakti hoila Chaitanya Goshai. Lord Chaitanya became the personification of devotional service, Murtimati Bhakti, with no end to his shivering, perspiring, hairs standing on end, and shedding of tears. Haripriya Didi saying, I was reading and hearing Srimati Satyabhama as his chief queen and manifestation of Srimati Radhika, whereas Rukmini is a manifestation of Chandravali. But not wanting to distract from these beautiful readings, just thought I'd note here for clarification as why I was curious. But in Krishna's pastimes in Vraj, Srimati Radhika is prominent, like she's the main, right? The foremost. And in Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka, Rukmini is the foremost. Even though, yeah, it is true that Rukmini is a manifestation of Chandravali and Satyabhama is a manifestation, but in Krishna's Dwarka pastimes, Rukmini is the most prominent queen. But the Vraj pastimes and Dwarka pastimes are very different, so yeah. Okay. But wait, you said that Satyabhama is a chief queen in Dwarka? I've never seen that written anywhere. If you could share where it's mentioned, where that's mentioned, that would be helpful. Nachen Thakur Dhori Nityananda Hata She Kataksha Se Kataksha Swabhava Bolite Shakti Kata. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya became the personification of devotional service with no end to his shivering, perspiring, hair standing on end, and shedding of tears. And the Lord held Nityananda's hand as he danced. Who has the power to describe the nature of his sidelong glance? Sammukhe Deuti Dhare Pandita Shriman Chaturdike Haridasa Kore Savadhan. Shriman Pandit held a lamp before the Lord, and Haridas alerted everyone in the four directions. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Deuti refers to a lamp. Heno eshamoy Nityananda haladhar Porilo murchita hoya prithvi upar. At that time, Nityananda Haladhar suddenly fell unconscious to the ground. Kothai ba gelo budi borair saja Krishna veshe vivala hoila nagaraja. What happened to his role as an elderly lady? The origin of Ananta Shesh became overwhelmed with love of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word Nagaraj refers to Lord Shesh. Since Nityananda Prabhu is the origin of Lord Shesh, he has been addressed by this name. Jai Matra Nityananda Purila Bhumite Shakala Vaishnavagan Kande Chari Bhite. As soon as Nityananda fell to the ground, all the Vaishnavas in the four directions began to cry. Ki Arbuta Hoilo Krishna Premer Krandan Shakala Korai Prabhu Shri Sachinandan. How wonderful was their weeping out of love for Krishna. Everything took place by the will of Shri Sachinandan. Karo gala dhori keho kande ucharai, kaharo charana dhori keho gadi jai. Some cried loudly as they embraced others around the neck, and some rolled on the ground as they held others' feet. And Haripriya Didi, I see your comment there, and that's very interesting. I'm going to respond to it later on, though, because I don't want to break the flow of the reading right now. But maybe at the end we can go through this. Khaneke Thakur Gopī Nate Kole Kori Mahalakshmi Bhave Uthe Kathar Upari. Then the Lord took the deity of Gopinath on his lap and sat on the throne in the mood of Mahalakshmi. Sammukhe rahila sabe joda hasta kori mor stava poro bole Gauranga Shri Hari. As everyone stood with folded hands before the Lord, Shri Gaur Hari told them, "Offer prayers to me." Janani abeshe bhujilen sarva gane she rupe pore stuti Mahāprabhu shune. Everyone understood that the Lord was absorbed in the mood of the mother, so they offered appropriate prayers, which were heard by the Lord. Keho pore Lakshmi stava, keho chandi stuti, sabe stuti pore jahar, sabe stuti pore jahar jeno mati. Some recited prayers to Lakshmi, and some offered prayers to Durga. Everyone offered prayers according to their realization. Gaudiya Bhashya. Seeing Sri Gaurasundar in the dress of a Shakti or consort, persons who were situated in false egos of goodness began to pray to him as Narayan Mahalakshmi. Others, who were situated in false egos of ignorance, offered him the prayers known as the Chandika Stotra. Jai Jai Jagata Janani Mahamaya Dukhita Jivere Deho Jivere Deho Ranga Pada Chaya. Sorry. All glories to Mahamaya, the mother of the universe. Please bestow the shade of your lotus feet on the suffering living entities. I just find it's interesting that there are people there who's situated in the false egos of ignorance. They offered prayers to him, known as the Chandika Stotra. So there are devotees. I guess there are people of all levels there, huh? This wasn't like the Srivas Thakur's nighttime kirtan pastimes where there was only the most intimate associates were there, but it seems like this was more open. Although I'm just curious why they mentioned that there are people outside the house and inside the house. So that's why I was, anyways. Okay, so these are the prayers. All glories to Mahamaya, the mother of the universe. Please bestow the shade of your lotus feet on suffering living entities. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahamaya, the mother of the universe, awards various miseries to living entities engaged in material enjoyment. To get freedom from these miseries, they take shelter of her. But at that point, they are unable to understand what their actual fate will be when they are freed from those miseries. Only those who are fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord will achieve the inclination to serve Krishna from Mahamaya Adya Shakti. Only they can understand that severe miseries can be vanquished by the influence of unalloyed service to Krishna. Service to the son of Nanda is most auspicious for the living entities. This becomes the subject of their prayers to Katyayani. This is very interesting. I'm saving this just because it's, yeah, okay. Jaya Jaya Ananta Brahmanda Kotishvari Tumi Juge Juge Dharma Rakho Avatari. All glories to the goddess of innumerable universes. You incarnate in every yuga to maintain religious principles. Brahma Vishnu Maheshware Tomar Mahima Bolite na pare anye Kebad Dibe Sima. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar are unable to describe your glories. So how can others reach the limit of your glories? Gaudiya Bhashya. You are the goddess of innumerable universes. By the influence of your energy, the religious principles of the yugas are protected. The three principal deities for the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the cosmic manifestation are unable to sing your glories. Therefore, how will those who are subordinate to them ascertain the limit of your glories? Jagat Swarupa Tumi, Tumi Sarva Shakti, Tumi Shraddha Daya Lajja, Tumi Vishnu Bhakti. You are the form of the universe, and you possess all energies. You are faith, compassion, and shame, and you are the personification of devotional service to Vishnu. Tumi Shraddha Doya Laja, Tumi Vishnu Bhakti. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrī Bhāgavata Sandarbha 117, it is stated, the Lord was also served by his principal internal potencies, Shri, Pushti, Gir, Kanti, Kirti, Tushti, Ila, and Urja. So those are his principal internal potencies, and then his material potencies, Vidya, Avidya, and Maya, and internal pleasure potency, Shakti. Okay, and so that's from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:39-55. This is a quote from Bhagavat Sandarbha, by the way. Like it quoted that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. When the word Shakti refers to the internal potency or energy in the form of Lakshmi, When the word Shakti is mentioned, it refers to the first internal energy, or Mahashakti, and Maya is the external energy. But the above energies headed by Śrī have two propensities. Because all energies are of two types, material and spiritual. It is to be understood that the energies headed by Śrī act both in the form of consorts and in the form of Maya. Among them, Śrī of the former category is the opulence of the Supreme Lord. But she is not the form of Mahalakshmi because Śrī is the Mool Shakti, our original energy. This will be explained later on. The latter category is the opulence of the material world. Regarding her, the Supreme Lord has said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, verse 7, Nashir viraktam apimam vijahati. The goddess of fortune, Śrī, does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her. This is also stated by Śrī Narad at the end of the 4th canto, chapter 31, verse 22. And that verse it gives the quote in brackets here. Shriyam anucharitam tad artinascha dvipadapatin vibudangscha yat sva purnahna bhajati najabrita varga tantra. Anyways, this wasn't quoted. This is extra. So it means, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient, he becomes dependent on his devotees. He does not care for the goddess of fortune, Śrī, nor for the kings and demigods who are after the favors of the goddess of fortune. Where is that person who is actually grateful and will not worship the personality of Godhead? So regarding her, the Supreme Lord has said these two things. The goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her, and this verse here. Okay. Among the above potencies, Ila, or Bhu Shakti, has the same features as Lila Shakti. Of the two, the former, or Ila, is a manifestation of Bhu Shakti and is the cause of knowledge regarding the truth. She is a particular aspect of the Samvit potency. The latter, or Lila Shakti, is the gateway of knowledge. She is the aspect of ecstatic love based on motherly affection that helps one forget the Lord's opulences. Huh. Isn't it mentioned Navadvip is Lila Shakti, is a manifestation of Lila Shakti, right? Wasn't it? It went through the 3 Shaktis. There was, oh God, we read this in the beginning. Śrī, Bhu, and Lila. And it said Śrī was Vishnupriya, I think. Then Bhu was Lakshmi Priya, and then Nila, or Durga was Navadvip. All this stuff is 100% above me, though. I really don't know what's going on. But yeah, it seems like a little bit of a mystery. But yeah, so the Lila Shakti is the gateway of knowledge. She is the aspect of ecstatic love based on motherly affection that helps one forget the Lord's opulences. That is why the Gopal Tapani Upanishad has described this energy as bewildering to the cowherd residents of Vraj. The other material aspect of Lila Shakti is the covering potency that causes conditioned souls to forget their own identities. Okay. It is to be understood by the use of the word cha in the verse beginning Shriya Pushtya that energies of Bhu Shakti like Sandhini, Samvit, Ladini, Bhakti, Murti, Vimala, Jaya, Yoga, Pravi, Ishana, and Anugraha are included. Okay, so all these energies are included in Bhu Shakti. These are also known as Sandhini, Satya, Jaya, Yoga, Yogamaya, Samvit, Gyan, and Shuddha Sattva. Pravi is the cause of variegated bliss and ability. Ishana is the cause of the energy of full control. This is a difference. In the same way, the energy Uttara, and it has in parentheses Lila, has many different propensities. The propensities of Maya are not described herein because they serve the external energy. But in the original text, those propensities have been generally counted as limbs of service. The external position of Maya is because of her remaining in the distance under the shelter of the plenary portion of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, in the original verse, Canto 10, Chapter 39, verse 55, the word Shakti has been used as a noun. The energy Shri is the original form, and the energies like Pushti are her parts and parcels. Vidya means knowledge, not ignorance. This knowledge is described in Bhagavad Gita 9.2 as follows. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshagamam Dharmyam Sasukam Kartumavyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. The word Maya in the original text refers to the external energy. Her aspects like Shri are separate from her. The others are the same. Although all these energies are counted among the aspects of the internal or spiritual energy of the Lord, it should be concluded that since the absolute truth is Satchid Ananda, the energy is one, yet divided into three. Jata Vidya Shakal Tomar Murti Bhed Sarva Prakritir Shakti Tumi Kohe Ved. All branches of knowledge are different forms of you. The Vedas declare, you are the energy behind all potencies. Gaudiya Bhashya. Since you are devotional service to Vishnu, all varieties of knowledge are simply manifestations of you. You are the cause or potency behind all characteristics of the energetic. The Vedic literatures declare that spiritual energy is the power behind the material creation. Nikhila Brahmanda Ganer Tumi Nikhila Brahmanda Ganer Tumi Mata Tumi Mata Ke Tomar Swarupa Kohite Pare Katha Trijagata Hetu Tumi Gunatray Mai Brahmadi Tomare Nahi Jane E Kohi Sarvashraya Tumi Sarva Jiver Vasati Tumi Adya Avikara Parama Prakriti. You are the mother of all universes. Who can describe your actual form? You are the cause of the three worlds consisting of the three modes of material nature. We can say that personalities like Brahma do not know you. You are the shelter of everyone, and you are the abode of all living entities. You are the primeval goddess and the changeless supreme consort. Gaudiya Bhashya. The difference between the Brahmanda, the material universe, and Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, is that Vaikuntha is a self-manifested object, while the Brahmanda, the material universe, is a created object. The creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the Brahmandas are under the jurisdiction of the material time factor, and the eternal existence of Vaikuntha is beyond the jurisdiction of time. There is no mother of Vaikuntha, but there is a mother of the Brahmandas. Although by nature she is the spiritual energy of the Lord, she is the creator of the material world consisting of the three modes of nature. As a spiritual energy, you alone are the cause of the three worlds. Although you are beyond the three modes of material nature, People become illusioned by considering you from the material point of view as consisting of three modes of material nature. The materialists are never able to describe your actual nature. Jagata janani tumi dvitiya rahita mahirupe tumi sarva jiva palamata jalarupe tumi sarva jiver jivan toma sangarile khande ashesh bandhan. You are the mother of the universe, and you are without a second. O mother, in the form of earth, you maintain all living entities. In the form of water, you are the life of all living entities. Remembrance of you destroys all bondage. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although you are the unrivaled spiritual energy, in your specific manifestation, you are the mother of this material universe. Another manifestation of you, this earth, is seen as the mother of the conditioned souls. You, in the form of water, are like the life of all living entities. By remembering your spiritual potencies, the living entities become freed from the unlimited material conceptions created by Maya, and are thus able to give up illusion. Sadhu jana grihe tumi Lakshmi murti mati Sadhur ghare tumi kala. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. This is broken up like this. God, it's so annoying how this always happens. Okay. Sadhu jana grihe tumi Lakshmi murti mati Asadur ghare tumi kala rupa kriti. In the house of devotees, you are the personification of Lakshmi, and in the houses of non-devotees, you appear in the form of time, the destroyer of all. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the houses of Vaishnavas attached to the service of the Lord, you are present as a personification of Lakshmi, and in the houses of materialists who are devoid of service to Vishnu, you entangle them in unlimited varieties of bondage, bewilder them with your covering and throwing potencies, and destroy them by placing them under the control of the material time factor. Tumi she koraho tri jagater shrishti stiti toma na bhajile pai trividha durgati. You arrange for the creation and maintenance of the three worlds. If one does not worship you, he suffers the threefold miseries. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although your spiritual energy is eternally present in Vaikuntha, it creates transience by arranging the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the heavenly, earthly, and lower planets. If one does not engage in service under the shelter of your spiritual energy, one will attain the threefold miseries, beginning with those arising from the body and mind. Tumi Shraddha Vaishnaver Sarvatra Udaya Rakoho Janani Diya Charaner Chaya. You are the ever manifested faith of the Vaishnavas. O Mother, please protect us by giving us the shade of your lotus feet. Gaudiya Bhashya. Appearing as the faith of those who are inclined towards the devotional service of Vishnu, you increase their devotion. You make those who are bereft of your compassion maddened with desires for material enjoyment by diverting them from the service of Krishna. They then know you only as the provider of their sense gratification. But you become the well-wisher of those who are favored by you, and rather than becoming the object of their enjoyment, you become the object of their service. Tomar mayai magna shakala sangsar, tumi na rakhile mata ke rakhibe ar. The entire world is bewildered by your illusory energy. O Mother, if you do not protect us, then who will? Gaudiya Bhashya. Being entangled by your illusory energy, godless people of the world wander in the cycle of birth and death and suffer miseries. If you, as the object of their worship, do not protect them, then those foolish children cannot consider you worshipable. Foolish children cannot consider you worshipable. As a result, being entangled in tight ropes, they cannot surrender to the Supreme Lord. Sabar udhar lagi tomar prakash, tukita jivere mata korone jadas. Haribol Champak Mataji. You manifest for the deliverance of everyone. O Mother, please accept the suffering jivas as entities please accept the suffering living entities as your servants. Gaudiya Bhashya. Being tortured by your covering and throwing potencies, persons desirous of liberation from this material world wish to be delivered by becoming free from material desires. With a desire to benefit such living entities who are inclined towards your service, you remove their threefold miseries and instruct them to become inclined towards the service of Krishna. Brahmadir bandyatumi sarva bhuta buddhi toma sangarile sarva mantradir shuddhi. You are worshipped by great personalities like Brahma. You are the intelligence of all living entities. By remembering you, one's chanting of mantras becomes purified. Gaudiya Bhashya. All demigods worship you. Gayatri Devi delivers the human beings from the concepts of acceptance and rejection and awards them pure intelligence. By remembering you, the restlessness of mental speculators is clarified. E mata stuti kore shakala mahanta varamukha Mahaprabhu shunaye nitanta. As Mahaprabhu attentively listened to all the devotees offer prayers in this way, he became inclined to offer them benedictions. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase varamukh means inclined to offer benedictions. Puna puna sabe danda pranama koriya, puna stuti kore shloka poriya poriya. The devotees repeatedly offered obeisances and prayers by reciting selected verses. Sabe loilo mata tomar sharan, shubha drishti korotor pore bahuman. O Mother, we all take shelter of your lotus feet. Please glance mercifully on us so that our minds remain fixed at your lotus feet. E mata shabe kore nivedan, urdhva bahu kori sabe koren krandan. As everyone offered prayers to the Lord in this way, they cried with their arms raised. Griha maje khande shab pativrata gan, ananda hoilo Chandrasekhara bhavan. The chaste ladies cried inside the room, and the house of Chandrasekhar became filled with ecstasy. Anande shakalok bahya nahi jane, he noi shamoy nishi hoilo avasane. As they forgot themselves in ecstasy, the night came to an end. Anande na jane lok nishi bhelo shesh, darun aruna asi bhelo paravesh. In ecstasy, they did not notice that the night had ended, and the bright sun had already risen. That word darun is such an interesting one because it means wicked, but then I guess it also means, but like lots of times it's used in a positive way, like, wow, that's amazing, that's wicked. Let's see. I just want to look it up again. I've looked this up before. Just want to see. Okay, so darun means terrible, severe, relentless, intense, keen, sharp, hard, difficult, shocking, unbearable, heartrending, strong, harsh, rude, excessive. So the intense sun, I guess. The bright sun, the intense sun. I guess that's the thing. Strong. Okay. Darun Aruna Asi Belo Parvesh. The bright sun had already arisen. But nobody noticed that the night had ended. But then the bright sun had already, they didn't even realize that the bright sun had already arisen. Pohailo nishi hoilo nritya avasana. Bhajilo sabar buke jeno mahabana. As the night ended, the dance stopped. This pierced the hearts of everyone like a sharp arrow. Mahaban. Sabar buke jeno mahaban. Chamakita hoy shabe chari dike chai. Pohailo nishikori kande ubharai. Struck with wonder, they all looked around and loudly cried out, "The night has come to an end." I see your comment, Kishore. Koti putra shoke o eteko dukha nahe je dukha janmilo shabo vaishnav. Sai. Huh? Okay. Je dukha janmilo shab vaishnava hridaye. The distress that the devotees felt could not be compared to that experienced on losing millions of sons. Wow, that's pretty heavy. Je dukha janmilo shab koti putra shoke o eteko dukha nahe je dukha janmila shab vaishnava hridaye. Je dukhe vaishnava shab arunere chahe prabhur kripar lagi bhashma nahi hoye. The devotees looked at the sun with such unhappiness that it would have burned to ashes if it was not protected by the mercy of the Lord. Prabhur kripar lagi bhashman nahi hoye. The sun only didn't burn to ashes because of the Lord's mercy on it. E rangara hivo heno vishara bhavya ataeva Gora Chandra korilen iha. Gora Chandra did that to increase the devotees' attachment through their great lamentation on seeing the completion of that pastime. Kandesha bhaktagan vishara bhabiya pativrata gana kande bhumite podiya. All the devotees cried in lamentation, and the chaste ladies cried as they fell to the ground. Jata Narayani Shakti Jagata Janani She Shava Hoyache Vaishnava Grihini. All the energies of Narayani, the mother of the universe, have appeared as the wives of the Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Bhashya. The women of this world are bodily expansions of Narayani's energies. Unlike the non-devotees, the Vaishnavas are not influenced by the spirit of enjoyment to consider the energies of Narayani, the mother of the universe, as the supreme. They are not influenced by the spirit of enjoyment to consider the energies of Narayani, the mother of the universe, as the supreme. Anyonye kandesha pativrata gan sabe dhoren shachi devir charan. All the chaste ladies cried among themselves and grabs the feet of Mother Shachi. Chaudike uthilo Vishnu bhaktir krandan premamoy hoila Chandrasekhara bhavan. The sound of crying and devotion to Vishnu arose in the four directions. The house of Chandrasekhara became filled with ecstatic love. Sahaje Vaishnave Rodana Uchita Janma Janma Jane Jara Krishner Charita. Those Vaishnavas who birth after birth know the characteristics of Krishna spontaneously cry for him. Gaudiya Bhashya. There are two types of crying, shedding tears of joy out of emotion and shedding tears while crying out an affliction from the distress of deficiency. When Vaishnavas see distress within this world, both types of emotions naturally appear in them. Keho bole are ratri kene pohaile, heno rase keno Krishna vanchita korile. Someone said, "O night, why have you come to an end? O Krishna, why have you deprived us? Why have you deprived us of such happiness?" Chodike dekhiya sa Vaishnava rodan, anugraha korilen Shri Shachinandan. On seeing the Vaishnavas in all directions crying, Shri Shachinandan became compassionate. Mata putre jeno hoy sneha anurag, e mata sabare dilen putra bhav. The Lord felt the same affectionate attachment for the devotees that a mother feels for her child. He then gave everyone the same feelings that a child has for his mother. Matri bhave vishwambar sabare dhoriya stanapana korai paramasnigdha hoya. In the mood of a mother, Vishwambar affectionately breastfed everyone. Kamala Parvati Daya Mahanarayani. Sorry. One second. Apane hoila Prabhu Jagat Janani. The Lord personally manifests as the mother of the universe in the form of Kamala, Parvati, Doya, and Mahanarayani. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the object of worship. He is the maintainer of everyone. When his energy becomes inclined towards his service and displays her variegated pastimes, when the Lord's energy becomes inclined towards his service and displays her variegated pastimes, she helps revive the constitutional position of the living entities. And when she directs her covering and throwing potencies to bewilder the living entities, and the conditioned living entities accept this with respect, she then becomes the provider of the living entities' material enjoyment and temporary benefit. Although the manifestation of the Lord's pastimes as a mother in the house of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata refutes the arguments that these pastimes are unfit to perpetually exist, the Lord accepted the mood of a devotee to demonstrate that such a form was not the worshipable Supreme Lord's personal form. It is not that simply because Sri Gaurasundar displayed the ideal example of enacting the pastimes of his various energies, that he is the object of the subordinate conditioned soul's enjoyment. It is seen in the ideal example of a mother in this world, that when her child accepts service from her, the child is unable to properly reciprocate because of its undeveloped consciousness. When the mother serves her child like a maidservant, her child is completely unable to serve her at that time. There is no possibility for the child to serve its mother at that point other than by accepting her service. When the child's consciousness is developed, it also develops a strong desire to become the master. Then also, the child cannot understand that his mother has been serving him since his birth and that he should clear his debt to her by serving her. Unless you find some very extraordinary 3-year-old who's like, I just want to engage in your service, mother. But no, that's never going to happen. When such a mentality does awaken in the child, it no longer exhibits a propensity to enjoy the material existence. Yet the illusory energy of Vishnu is so powerful that she does not award this qualification to everyone. The Supreme Lord can never become a servant or a maidservant. He is always the Lord and the enjoyer. His subordinate energies are his servants and maidservants. Those who desire to transform the Supreme Lord into a servant or maidservant are bewildered by the illusory energy of Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is never to be enjoyed by the conditioned living entities. Therefore, by accepting this material world, which is a transformation of the Lord's external energy as the abode of enjoyment, the living entities, who are transformations of the material energy, have ended up becoming the masters of the material world. And while establishing the Shakta philosophy, they have taken leave from the path of spiritual life. When the conditioned souls feel that material enjoyment is the goal of life, then they engage the Supreme Lord as a supplier of their sense gratification. As a result, they become entangled in the ropes of material enjoyment. Sri Gaurasundar's pastimes of accepting the mood of a devotee, his exhibition of pastimes as the mother of the universe, is to demonstrate that service to the energetic Vishnu is the only propensity of the Adya Shakti, which is the worshipable goddess or of the followers of the Shakta philosophy. Vishnu is never to be considered the energy. The energy is always under the shelter of the Supreme Lord. Gaurasundar manifested such pastimes to confirm that the energies inclined towards the Lord's service are most favorable to the energetic, and that the external illusory energies' display of manipulating energies is incompatible with the manipulations of the internal energy. Wait, let me reread that sentence because my mind went somewhere else while I read that. Gaurasundar manifested such pastimes to confirm that the energies inclined towards the Lord's service are most favorable to the energetic, and that the external energies' display of manipulating energies is incompatible with the manipulations of the internal energy. Yes. Okay. I just got, oh God. Yes. Sorry. I just got messages from Jai Gopal. I've been trying to get in touch with him for weeks now. I've written a ridiculous amount of messages and he's just now responding to all the messages, so that's why I got distracted. Okay. Satya korilen Prabhu apanar Gita, ami pita pitamaha, ami dhata mata. The Lord confirmed his statement in the Bhagavad Gita that I am the grandfather and I am the father and grandfather. I am the support and the mother. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Supreme Lord is the absolute truth. There is an eternal relationship between the Supreme Lord and the living entities who are his parts and parcels. The Supreme Lord is Vibhu, or unlimited, and the Anu, or limited living entities who are related to him, are among his subordinate energies. The function of his illusory energy is to manipulate the Lord's various energies according to time, place, and circumstance. While confirming these topics, the Lord also established that even though the material designations of a living entity have no relationship with his Swarup Lakshan, or original characteristics, they certainly have a relationship with his Tatashta Lakshan, or marginal characteristics. So, where does the Lord say, I am the father and grandfather, I am the support and mother? It's this. Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. I guess that's the Bhagavad Gita. Huh? I don't know that verse. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. Anande Vaishnava sab korestana pan, koti koti janma jara mahabhagyavan. All those Vaishnavas who had been most fortunate for millions of lifetimes now blissfully drank milk from the Lord's breast. Stanapane sabar viraha gelo dur, prema rase sabe mata hoila prachur. By drinking the Lord's breast milk, their feelings of separation were mitigated, and they became greatly maddened in the mellow of ecstatic love. E sab lilar kabu abadhi na hoy, avirbhav tirobhav vede matra koy. Although the Vedas describe the Lord's appearance and disappearance, there is actually no end to his pastimes. Maharaj Rajeshwar Prabhu Vishwambar E Ranga Korile Nadia Bhitor. Lord Vishwambar, the King of Kings, performs such pastimes in Nadia. Nikhila Brahmande Jata Stula Shukshma Ache Saba Chaitanya Rup Bheda Kore Pache. All gross and subtle elements in the entire universe are manifestations of Lord Chaitanya that later appear separate. Gaudiya Bhashya. The gross and subtle ingredients that have, according to their various qualities, manifested in this material world, which is a transformation of the external energy, are regarded as the variegatedness of the primary and secondary energies of consciousness. There is a difference between pastimes and activities. In the different concepts of temporary time and eternal time, various material and spiritual energies are situated. These energies are directly and indirectly related to individuals under particular circumstances. Ichai koroye shrishti, ichai milai, ananta brahmanda shrishti koroye lilai. Out of his own sweet will, he creates and annihilates. He creates innumerable universes as one of his pastimes. Ichamai maheshwar, icha kache kache, kacho kache, tana icha nahi kore heno kon ache. Sorry. Tana icha nahi kore heno kon ache. He is the Lord of Lords and supremely independent. He appears in whatever form he desires. Who is there who will disobey him? Tatapi tahar kacha, shakali susatya, jivatari bar lagi esab mahatva. Nevertheless, all of his forms are the supreme truth. He manifests such glorious forms to deliver the living entities. Ihana pujiya kono papi jana, Prabhu re boloe Gopī khaya apana. Without understanding this fact, some sinful persons ruined themselves by calling the Lord a Gopī. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Supreme Lord is the object of worship. If he is considered in the category of Ashraya Vigraha, or devotee, and described as a Gopī, the Lord would then be relegated to merely an energy rather than the energetic. The Mayavadis and non-devotees cannot understand that Lord Gaurasundar. They can't understand Lord Gaurasundar as the source of all Vishnu Tattvas. The exhibition of pastimes appropriate to an ashray by the Vishaya Vigraha, or shelter of all devotees, impedes unfortunate persons' realization of the truth. So we should never think that the Lord is a Gopī. He might be tasting the feelings of the moods of a Gopī, but doesn't mean he is. If we think that he is a Gopī, then that's as wrong could be. Arbhuta Gopika Nritya Charibe Dadhan, Krishna Bhakti Hoy Iha Korile Shravan. By hearing about the Lord's wonderful dance as a Gopī, which is the treasure of the 4 Vedas, one attains devotional service to Krishna. Hoila Borai Buri Prabhu Nityananda, Shelilai Heno Lakshmi Kache Gora Chandra. In that pastime, Nityananda Prabhu played the role of an elderly lady, while Gaurachandra took the form of goddess Dut Lakshmi. Jokono je rupe Gaurachandra je bihare, she anurupa rupa Nityananda dhare. Whenever Gaurachandra enjoys pastimes in a particular form, Nityananda assumes a form suitable for those pastimes. Just take any form of Vishnu, any form, there'll always be Balaram there, Nityananda there in some particular form, serving in the most prominent way. Because he is the controller of all service. That's his domain. Prabhu hoy len Gopī Nityananda badai, ke bujibe ihajar anubhavanai. The Lord became a Gopī, and Nityananda became an elderly lady. Who can understand this other than one who has realization of it? Krishna anugraha jare, she e marma jane, alpa bhage Nityananda swarupana chine. Only one who is favored by Krishna can understand this in truth. Less fortunate persons cannot recognize Nityananda. Kiva jogi Nityananda, kiva bhakta gyani, jar jeno mata icha na boloye keni. Someone may consider Nityananda a yogi. Someone may consider him a devotee. And someone may consider him a jnani. They may say whatever they like. Jai Shri Chaitanya Nityananda nahe, tatapi she para parma rahuk hridaye. Even if Nityananda is a most insignificant servant of Lord Chaitanya, I would still keep his lotus feet in my heart. Eto porihare oje papi ninda kore, tobe lati maro tar shirer upare. Therefore, I kick the head of any sinful person who disregards the glories of Lord Nityananda and dares to criticize him. Gaudiya Bhashya. Those who are sinful-minded because of their previous misdeeds cannot understand the truth about Śrī Nityananda Baladev or his transcendental activities, and thus they blaspheme him. Topics of the authors kicking them on their heads have been mentioned to reveal that the conceptions of such abominable sinful persons are extremely disgusting and contemptible. By receiving such chastisement from a Vaishnava, the good fortune of those who are averse to the service of Hari is awakened. But ordinary foolish people cannot understand this. Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jeno amrita shravan, jahi lakshmi veshe nritya koila narayan. The topics of the Madhya-khaṇḍa, wherein Lord Narayan's dance in the form of Lakshmi are narrated, are just like a shower of nectar. Nachilo janani bhabe bhakti shikai, Jashavar Purilo Asha Stana Piya. Sorry. I was like, what? Let's go this. Let's reread that. Nachilo Janani Bhave Bhakti Shikaiya Sabar Purilo Asha Stana Piya. The Lord danced in the mood of a mother and taught devotional service. He then fulfilled everyone's desires by feeding them breast milk. Gaudiya Bhashya. By displaying the activities of his spiritual and material energies, the Lord taught devotional service, which is the eternal propensity dormant in conditioned souls. He taught self-realized souls the principles of distributing foodstuffs required in this material world and offering service to the Supreme Lord rather than taking service from him. I want to look this up. 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Saptadin Śrī Acharya Ratner Mandire Parama Arbhut Teja Chilo Nirantare. There was a wonderful effulgence manifested for 7 days at the house of Śrī Acharya Ratna. Wow. Saptadin Śrī Acharya Ratner Mandire Parama Arbhuta Teja Chilo Nirantare. Chandra Surya Vidyut Ekatra Jeno Jwale Dekhaye Sukriti Sab Mahakutuhale. It appeared that the moon, the sun, and lightning were simultaneously illuminating the house. Fortunate persons were greatly pleased to see this. Jateka Aishe Loka Acharya Raghare Chokku Meli Bare Shakti Keho Nahi Dhare. Those who came to Acharya Ratna's house were unable to open their eyes. Whoa, look how bright it is. They can't open their eyes. Loke bole ki karane Acharya Raghare Dui Chokku Melite Putiya Jeno Pore. People inquired, why do our eyes become blinded when we open them in Acharya's house? Shuniya Vaishnavgan mane mane hase keho ar kichu nahi koroye prakashe. On hearing this, the Vaishnavas became jubilant at heart, but they did not offer any explanation. Heno Śrī Caitanya parama gahana tatapi keho kichu na bhuje karana. Lord Chaitanya's potencies are most confidential, yet no one can understand how this is so. Gaudiya Bhashya. The potencies of Śrī Caitanya-dev are most confidential. There is not a tinge of devotional service in the hearts of those who desire to enjoy Gaur, who accept service from Gaur Sundar by considering him the object of their enjoyments. In other words, who consider themselves something like nagaris or enjoyers. Śrī Caitanya-dev did not allow foolish persons to understand this. E mata achintya lila Gaura Chandra kore Navadvipe Sava Bhakta Sahite Vihare. In this way, Gaurachandra enjoyed inconceivable pastimes with the devotees in Navadvip. Shuno shuno or are bhai Chaitanyer katha, Madhya-khaṇḍe je karma koilo jatha jatha. Oh brothers, hear the descriptions of the activities and places of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in Madhya-khaṇḍa. Śrī Caitanya Chanda Pahu, Śrī Caitanya Nityananda Chanda Pahu Jana, Vrindavana Dasatachu Padarjuge Gan. Accepting Śrī Caitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends the English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya commentary on Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 18, entitled Mahāprabhu's Dancing as a Gopī. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. All the Shaktis of Sachinandan Gaur Hari, of the Supreme Lord Ki Jai. Okay, let's see. What are we reading tomorrow? I'm just opening it up. Chaitanya Bhagavat readings file. Let me put it on here so you can all see. There. We are reading. Oh, shoot. I don't even know. I don't have it here. Okay, we will find out. I guess I could just open up this. 1 second. Let me just. I have it in Bengali. 1 second. Where the heck is Finder window? There. Okay, let's see. Going into projects, Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. Where are the chapters? Here. Let's see. What is the next topic? Okay. So the next chapter will be, we just finished 18. So now, okay, so the next chapter will be Prabhur Advaita Grihe Bilas. So pastimes in the Lord's pastimes in the house of Advaita Acharya. And then next chapter after that will be Murari Gupta Prabhav Varnan. And then Devananda Prati Prabhur, what is that? Vakya Danda. Okay, Lord's chastisement on Devananda Pandit. And then, yeah, okay, cool. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai, the Lord's ecstatic dancing in the mood of his Shaktis Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda, Shriman Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Gadadhar Pandit Ki Jai, Shri Advaita Acharya Ki Jai, Shri Gadadhar Pandit Ki Jai, Shri Shivas Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, the house of Chandrasekhara Acharya Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, the Gaudiya Bhasha of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, and then also today is Nityala Pravishta Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Tadaya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai, Nityala Pravishta Srila Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu ki jai, Tadaya Shubha Tadaya Tirabhav Titi ki jai. Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanand Swaparshad Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. Hare Krishna, Hari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Champak Mataji, let's see, Raseshwari Mataji, Hari Priya Didi, Sudevi Didi, Ganga Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Vidyalala Sadidi, and all the other devotees joining. I see there's many other devotees. Wow, many people joined today. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for the reading tomorrow. Oh, and okay, so Hari Priya Didi's comment here. Oh, she gave a quote from on purebhakti.com. It says, Devi, Lord Krishna's chief queen, appeared to him in a dream and told him, please don't make this only one drama, rather divide it into two parts. Yes. Well, I mean, also, Chandravali is also Krishna's, like one of Krishna's chief gopis, right? There's Radharani and Radharani on one side, Chandravali on the other side, and they are the two principal, Krishna's principal, like, what do you say? Paramours, consorts, whatever. Like it's two energies in Vraj. But in Vraj, so you could also say that about Chandravali, and like, but yeah, I don't know. Like whenever you have all the queens together, Rukmini is always the prominent one. There's a few pastimes to illustrate this also, like when Krishna had to give the flower to one of his queens, and like he had to give it to them, right? And Narad gave him the flower. That whole pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam, that's showing how how Rukmini is his principal queen. That's why, yeah, Rukmini Krishna is the I don't know. I could find things I could find more like parts in the Shastra to show that, but anyways, it's not. I don't think that's so important. But yeah, definitely in the Dwarka pastimes, Rukmini is the most prominent. All right, thank you so much for joining. And does anybody have anything to say before we end the stream today? Okay, so I'll see you all tomorrow. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams. Okay, Hari Bol, Hari Priya Didi. Thank you. Oh wait, Kishore just wrote a comment. Let's see. He said, our Srila Gurudev personally said that Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj is an Uttam Adhikari Mahābhagavat Vaishnav. My father heard this directly from him in Wales 2000. Okay, wow, wonderful. And oh yeah, Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu. And I don't know so much about Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. But Haribol, Nari Hari Prabhu, were you about to say something?
Oh, yeah, no, that he was a very, very dear friend, god brother of Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, and he always, when the devotees will go by South India, the spot where, what was it called? Lord Ramananda and Lord Chaitanya met, Kovura. He will make sure the devotees would stop, and he will feed everyone. Yes. Prasadam, most amazing prasadam. Yes. And we used to go visit him quite often, but especially in Puri, when we did we had Purushottam Mass with Srila Gurudev Narayan Maharaj. And so when the parikrama, we stop over and we pay our respects to him. And we used to do that. But then we had the great fortune of having him at a store that we had in Eugene, Oregon. It was called Planet Goloka. And we had a whole pastime with him, Trinis. So, yeah, he was, at that time, I believe he was 91, Trini? 90. Or 90 years old. And our manager at that time was my godbrother, Candraśekhara. I invited him to come and do something together with the store. It was like a pretty central point for different levels. People, we had like famous herbologists, and we had also all the movements of ahimsa, whatever. Everybody was coming through. We considered the second best vegetarian restaurant, but it wasn't our focus. Our focus was actually to present speakers. And so Candraśekhara told us, guess what? Maharaj is in town, and we should definitely receive him. So we did. We did a big thing, and the store, which, we had TV, and we projected movies of Srila Prabhupada on different days and like that. But this time we had it on, and the whole system was set up, mics and all that. And the car pulls up, and this Maharaj, and he looks like a 90-year-old person, and everybody's all got up, it's like, but very effulgent, very sweet too at times. Many really. So but anyhow, he comes in the store, and Kula tries to turn on the get the mics ready, and they didn't work. And so as he's coming in, also he turned off the TV. Prabhupada was giving a lecture. We had a lecture by Srila Prabhupada. And so Maharaj, Srila Maharaj, he sat down, and we had a little, like a vyasasana for him. And he started his dissertation from the point where Prabhupada left during the movie. We turned it off, and he continued what Prabhupada was saying. Continue the lecture.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
But the very first thing is that the mics didn't work, and so we're like looking at each other. Kula said, "What a disaster! Oh my God! What do we do?" He has a big room, and hopefully, we thought was illusion covered us very strongly. That we thought, oh, he's an older person, and he might not have the power in his voice. So, but no, all the contrary. He sat down, and his voice, a booming voice, like a lion, spoke, and he filled the room, and everybody was like, lay people that would come, everybody went like, wow, mystical, my hairs are standing on end. It was very sweet. And so he never, every time he saw us, especially when he saw Bhattrini, he would say, oh, Eugene. And, we used to go visit him in Vrindavan towards the end, and his eyes were closed. He wouldn't even move. And I think it was Madhusudan, when it was Brahmachari Madhusudan. He would read Srimad Bhagavatam to him. And so we came in, and we pay our, respects, obeisances, and he, the lecture continued, the reading continued, and then when it was done, he just got up, and as soon as he saw Bhattacharya, he turned around. He was going upstairs to his room. He turned around and said, Eugene. Because we had a few pastimes with him. So he was like they said, the devotee is so soft, like a flower petal, and hard like a thunderbolt.
Yes.
He was like that. To us, we saw that part of great benevolence, and he would just smile ear to ear. We had one time. Well, I guess I'm not taking too much time.
I do
That
kind
was
of have to
that.
go kind of soon because I'm.
Okay.
But you can finish mentioning what you're mentioning, and then I do actually have to go.
Okay. It's just let me see. What was a little short story, but I could make it short. Try to. It's about us legally. We were married in '85. Oh, you told that already? It's because it's his day today. Anyhow, yeah. We end up helping with the finances on doing a feast for 20,000 people, or at least over 15,000 people, because that come everybody was in parikrama. We were in a Shingapali, and so we ended up, it's a joke. Gurde said, you getting married? And we were like, are you legally married? I said, well, not in the West, but in Western style. I said, okay, so then punishment, you have to throw a prasadam festival.
Told us to get married.
It told us to get married.
Then we did.
And we did. And then he said, oh, punishment for your marriage is to serve a feast for all the devotees that had come. It's about 20,000 devotees, pilgrims, that come. And so with Bhattarini, we were like, he enthusiasm, it was so amazing. Like old times, we're like there serving prasadam, and at the end,
it's really fun. It was
it was a lot of fun.
Sweet rice?
Yeah. Guri's khichdi, sweet rice, but really well done. And it was just like, anyhow, at the end of it, we looked at each other and said, oh, did you save a plate, or you think they saved us a plate? No, there was nothing left. It was so good. It was gone. So at that particular moment, we just look at each other, we laugh. And then right then and there, Ramesh Bhavana, he showed up, and he said, come, and Puri Maharaj is right next door. And it was the temple. He has the coolest locations of the mats. Like in Puri, it's right next to the Gundicha. And we stay there for like a month and a half in his ashram that we used to visit him, and you can see the courtyard of the Gundicha, which we can't get in. So that was one of the locations. The other one was in Shingapali. There's a beautiful temple across the lake, or the water. Yes, a lagoon, I guess. Anyhow, we went in, and it was just the beginning of his puja. So we were lucky. That was our recompense, that we were able to do service. So they let us offer the puja to him, and he was laughing and looking at the three of us, and especially Bhattarini raising two hands and smiling, the blessings. So yeah, our exchanges were amazing. But there is a book we met this last December, I believe, with Yaduvar Prabhu, and he told us about a book put by a devotee of Prabhupada's traveling through South India, and so there's photos of him and Puri Maharaj, and they would take morning walks together, and Prabhupada wrote about his that he was so one of his favorites, called brothers.
Interesting. Ah, nice. Very nice.
So it was special.
Thank you so much.
All right, so you're welcome.
All right, I gotta jump off right now because I'm supposed to be meeting with somebody else right now. But I want to do another because today's also Discipline's Day of Narahari Said Vigraha. So maybe I'll do another reading, just a short reading, sometime later today. I don't know what time yet. But yeah, I gotta run now. So thank you so much. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Sorry, Vidya Lasadidi, I'll write you a WhatsApp message. And Kishore says Srila Bhakti-Bhava Puri Goswami Maharaj loves Chaitanya-bhāgavata and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, he published in English versions of Chaitanya-bhāgavata also, didn't he? Used to read
I have that one.
Wonderful. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol.